parallel operation of generator. Here we are going to see about the parallel operation of synchronous generator. First of all, I am N. Karthikeyan, Department of Electrical and Electronic Engineering, Panimalai Institute of Technology, Chennai. Today we are going to see about the parallel operation of generator in the purpose of gate coaching. Welcome students. Let me start to learn the session. First of all, what's the purpose of parallel operation? Why we need parallel operation for alternator? Today we are using alternating current as our electrical source. So we are in and around more than 10,000 megawatts power utilized by the state. For example, let me take Tamil Nadu government utilized more than 10,000 megawatts of electrical power. The problem is this amount of power cannot be generated by a single generating station. At the same time, no one cannot able to design such generator. Due to that, we are using different form of generation from different places. Some places they are generating the power from wind, then hydropower plant, thermal power plant, nuclear power plant, gas power plant. So the power generator around the state, around the place, producing the electrical power. These power cannot be satisfy the load, nearby load. So the sharing is very important. From that, we are connect these generator in a single line to get to share the load. Due to that, we cannot able to connect by simply a switch. The connecting method is called synchronizing or parallel operation of alternator, because we are using three-phase supply. If it is a DC, we must consider only a voltage. If it is a AC, we must consider more things: voltage, frequency, phase sequence. These things must be mainly considered. While you satisfied by the three things, till now we cannot able to synchronize, because once you compromise these things by using synchronous scope, dark lamp method, bright lamp method, from that we can identify the variation. Then only we can check whether the both alternator and the grid supply is in the correct sequence. Then only we can close the switch. That operation is called parallel operation. After that, there is no current flow between the generator and a grid, because that position is called floating region. After that, by bearing the mechanical power, we can able to move the current towards the supply. Once you increase the mechanical power, the real power start to move towards the grid. So from that we have different problem and different quantities involved in the parallel operation. Not only these three things, that is voltage, current, voltage, frequency and phase sequence. Apart from that, different quantities are included after the parallel operation. That is, we are going to see in this program. Welcome to our program. Let me start the parallel operation of generator. Welcome you all again. Let me move to the question. The coupling angle or load angle of a synchronous motor is defined as the phase angle between dash. So here, once it is connected, it is act like a synchronous motor. So answer, we have four different answers. Rotor and stator poles of opposite polarity, rotor and stator poles of same polarity, rotor and stator teeth, rotor and resultant magnetic field. So let me easily identify the rotor and stator poles of opposite polarity. It is measured between stator and rotor poles in the opposite direction. Let me move to the main thing. Next one. What is synchronizing power? What is synchronizing power? Stiffness coefficient of electromagnetic coupling. So we have three different categories. Stiffness coefficient of electromagnetic coupling. Let me write. There is some rearrangement. Stiffness coefficient of electromagnetic coupling between stator and rotor. Stability measure of synchronous machine. Power consumption factor. Power consumption factor. So here we have three different categories. Which one is correct? Here 1 and 2, that is stiffness of coefficient of electromagnetic coupling between stator and rotor, stability measurement of synchronous machine, and 2 and 3, stability measure of synchronous machine, power consumption factor. So first and third, stiffness coefficient of electromagnetic coupling between stator and rotor, power consumption factor. Or all the three. Which one is correct? You know that synchronizing power is stiffness coefficient representation as well as measurement of stability. So this is maybe a correct one. A may be a correct one. Let me find A is a correct one. Let me move to the next one. Large stiffness coefficient represent. Large stiffness coefficient represent. Option A, motor speed remain particularly constant. Large fluctuation due to mechanical load. Motor speed is variable to changes. No such significant with speed. So large shipments represent the tight coupling in the machine and it become more stability. So option A may be a correct one. Let me check. Option A is a correct one. Next thing, and over excitation. So what is excitation? The synchronous machine, it works under the principle of Faraday law of electromagnetic induction. Whenever flux cut the conductor or conductor cut the flux, EMF induced in the conductor. Here that we have three different methods: dynamically induced EMF, statically induced EMF, self-induced EMF. The self-induced EMF is a inductor and statically induced EMF is a transformer and a dynamically induced EMF is a generator. Here our synchronous motor is also work under dynamically induced EMF. So it required magnetic field, that is static magnetic field. Based on the magnetic flux, we are producing the EMF. And overexcited synchronous machine is more stable than under excited. So here they did not mention which type of stability, but we can imagine the voltage. The synchronizing power is directly proportional to the excitation. We know that. So A, true, and overexcited is more stable than under excited. So synchronizing power is directly proportional to the excitation. Excitation is nothing but providing DC supply to the field. Let me move to the next sixth question. Consider the below remarks for an alternator. Consider below remark for the alternator. Let me check. Consider the below remark for an alternator. Condition number 1. An overexcited machine is more shift. Second thing, machine with longer air gap is less stable than one with a small air gap. So air gap, so the air gap is a term which discussed that the gap between stator and a rotor. So that diameter of the diameter minus 2 into length of air gap. So once the air gap is increased, what will happen? The high amount of magnetizing current is happen. Due to that, the large amount of magnetization flux is present in the air gap. So the field must give more excitation and the field must produce more excitation power to maintain the magnetic field. So certainly it is unstable. Due to that, the second thing is false. So now we find the second one is false. So definitely we know that. So let me choose A and D. So because the B and C is true, due to that we leave that. So we can take A and D as option. So first come to the first session, an overexcited machine is more shift. Previously we discussed about that. An overexcited machine is more shift is true. So due to that we choose A. So answer is A. The larger the air gap, smaller than reactance. So it has a reactive property. So load angle is increased. The degree of stability. The load angle is increased. The degree of stability. So depending upon the load angle, the stability will be determined. So here we have four chances: reduce, increases, remain same, no change in stability. So we know that the change in load angle, it definitely acts in the output. So we can eliminate the C and D because remain it same, no change in stability means it is not include in that. Then increase. So we did not think that stability remains increased because we consider while the system is running in stable, now we increase the load angle, it definitely will reduce the stability. So let me choose option A. Check the answer. Answer A. Synchronizing power is equal to EB cos del divided by X. So del angle is a load angle. Ultimately, when you change the load angle, it will affect in the stability. Move to the next question. Synchronizing power. Synchronizing power is, we have four answers: transient in nature, steady state in nature, pulsating at small frequencies, constant for a machine. So synchronizing power, after the synchronization, while you increase the mechanical input, the current transfer from generator to a load or grid. So the transfer of energy, that is active power, is a synchronizing power, is not a steady state, it's a variable one. So it is not a constant for a machine. So we leave the B and D. Pulsating at small frequencies may be considered transient in nature. So it have more convenient answer for us. If we check answer, it is transient in nature and determines stability while disturbance. So let's we move to the next question. What is the following make synchronizing power to come to play in the machine? Which of the following makes synchronizing power to come to play in the machine? So already we discussed that after the synchronization process, the machine did not supply a power to the grid because that position is called floating position. So while you increase the excitation, that means when you increase the excitation, it delivers the reactive power. While you reducing the excitation, it will ultimately absorb the reactive power to maintain the flux constant. So we have four different categories of answer. Disturbance in prime mover. disturbance in field current, disturbance in load. So any disturbance in field current did not affect the synchronizing power because it affects the synchronous reactance. Then disturbance in load did not affect because after synchronization it is along with the grid. So disturbance in prime mover. Here the prime mover is nothing but mechanical input. The mechanical input, while you change the mechanical input, then only it will lead to the synchronizing power change. So any disturbance will lead to the transient to arise, and so that synchronizing power. So the answer is A. Which of the following is used in synchronous machine? Which of the following is used in synchronizing machine to maintain mechanical stability? So first, damper winding, interpole winding, compensating winding, equalizer ring. So here they did not mention the synchronization machine types, but we know that the turbo alternator and salient pole alternators. We have two different alternators, mainly salient pole alternator and non-salient pole alternator. So which of the following is or you are used in synchronous machine to maintain mechanical stability? So mechanically stability means there is no oscillation in the speed. So equalizer ring, compensating winding, interpole winding did not a purpose for mechanical stability. This is used to maintain in the electrical field, not in the mechanical field. So damper winding. So damper winding, the purpose of damper winding in the synchronous machine to reduce the hunting effect. So what is hunting effect? The hunting effect is nothing but the instability in the speed due to the sudden change in load. For example, if it is a synchronous generator, if you add the sudden load in the terminal, the speed will be oscillate for a time. That is a oscillation that can be prevented by two methods. One is free wheel method. Second thing is damper winding. So here the damper winding is used to stabilize the speed of the generator. So let me check the answer. Let me choose A, damper winding. So damper winding or the dummy winding which help to stabilize the machine during transient instability. When did the transient instability will be arised? During the sudden change in load. So while you connect the additional load suddenly, this will lead to the sudden change in the mechanical because it suddenly absorbs the mechanical power from the synchronous machine. So while you are applying the electrical side, so machine is nothing but converting of mechanical energy into electrical energy. So that while you are suddenly absorb the electrical energy, it absorbs the mechanical energy by the machine. Due to that action, there is some instability that is called transient. So this arise will change the speed of the synchronous machine. That can be eliminated by using damper winding. So they have said damper winding or the dummy winding. While it run in the constant speed, it acts like a dummy winding. When the speed is reduced, it absorbs some power from the supply and producing some amount of torque to compensate the winding, compensate the load at the stage of instability. So we will move to the next one, that is problem. Those who have paper, start to note it down the problem. For a four pole, three phase, 400-volt alternator. For a four pole, three phase, 400-volt alternator has synchronizing power of has a synchronizing power of 300 unit. Then the synchronizing power per mechanical degree is the synchronizing power per mechanical degree is. So if we have four poles, three phases, so synchronizing power of 300. Let me take the mechanical power. So here poles 4, so 300 by 2, 150 into number of phases 3, number of phases 3, and poles 4 poles. So electrical angle is equal to, we have 4 different options, 300, 1200, 900 and 600. So synchronizing electrical degree. What is the synchronizing electrical degree? 12. Okay. So number of poles 4. So here we have electrical degree of 300. So if it is electrical degree, so ultimately we take as half, that is 150. So divided by 150 into 4, we get 300 unit. So synchronizing power per mechanical degree is 300 units. So then we move to the next question. Electromagnetic torque is present in rotating machine when, so electromagnetic torque is present in rotating machine when both stator and rotor winding carry current. Rotor winding carry current. Stator winding carry current. Any of the mentioned. So from that we go to the working of motor. So the wording clearly explains that whenever current carrying conductor is placed in the magnetic field, it experiences the torque. So whenever current carrying conductor is placed in the magnetic field, it experiences the torque. Which experience the torque? The conductor experiences the torque. That the word indicates there is a two magnetic field interaction together to producing the torque. So that the rotor winding carry current means the stator did not carry current. So here they did not mention any other wording. This is stator, they have the permanent magnet, anything. So the rotor winding carrying current. So it's not true. Stator winding carrying current. Which type of current? They did not mention. So any of the mentioned. So already B and C did not correct. So the D also did not correct. So both stator and rotor winding carry current. That is a include the synchronous motor too. The operation of a synchronous motor operating on constant excitation across infinite bus will not be stable if the power angle option A exceed internal angle theta is less than theta is more than theta by 2 is less than theta divided by 2. So the power angle should not exceed theta to operate at a normal condition. Yeah, the operation of synchronous motor operating on a constant excitation across infinite bus bar will not be stable if the power angle del. Let me see the answer. Answer gave power angle should not exceed theta. The synchronous motor, the back EMF peak set up to a stator depends on rotor excitation, supply voltage, rotor speed, load on the motor. So it's definitely a rotor excitation. The variation in DC excitation of a synchronous motor cause variation in armature current and power factor. Second thing, power factor. Third, armature current. Speed. When the excitation is changed, ultimately it is related to power factor. So due to power factor change, it ultimately include in armature current. So armature current and power factor both vary the DC excitation. Which motor is convenient? Because a synchronous machine, which motor is conveniently operate at lagging as well as leading power factor? Definitely we can say the stepper motor, squirrel cage induction motor, slip ring induction motor are run in the lagging power factor. They cannot be able to reach the leading power factor. The only motor is synchronous motor. So next question. Steady state stability limit is defined as maximum power flow possible through a particular point without loss of stability when the power is increased gradually, then power is increased suddenly, then power reduced gradually, and power is reduced suddenly. Here, the steady state stability limit is defined as maximum power flow possible through a particular point without loss of stability when the power is increased gradually. So, steady state analysis involves study of stability at gradual change in the machine. The loading angle increase till 135 degree. The consequence will be loss of synchronism, no alternation of synchronism, increase in stability limit, and reduction in stability limit. So when the load angle, that means while we applying or increasing the electrical load, the load angle start to increase. While it reaches the above 90 is our limitation. So here increase till 135 degree means heavy loaded. The consequence will loss of synchronism. So we lost the synchronizing process. So we know that because of load angle is more than 90 degree. So 90 degree is the limitation. So once it reaches the 90 degree means it loses the synchronism. So next, steady state stability limit can be improved by dash. We have three suggestions: increase excitation, reducing reactance, and third using series capacitor. So I hope all of them are correct. So steady state stability is equal to EB divided by X. Series capacitor will improve. Series capacitor will improve the steady state stability, transient stability, hunting, stiffness. So here series capacitor will increase the steady state stability. So EB divided by X. So here steady state stability. If we have the another one question. Transient stability limit is less important than excuse me. Transient stability limit is less important than steady state limit. Steady state stability limit. A true, B false. So transient stability is more of concern due to the reason the machine may lose synchronism due to sudden disturbance. So here the transient stability limit less important, but it is a very more important. So transient stability is more of concern due to the reason that the machine may lose synchronism due to sudden disturbance. So once again we have the triple X problem again. Transient stability is lower than SSL. Transient disturbance are more common. First one and the second one both are true. So it is maybe a answer, and let me see the another combination too. False, true, and true, false. Both are false. So previous question we see that transient stability is lower than steady state stability. So answer is A. Then let me move to the problem. The supply voltage to an induction motor. Supply voltage to an induction motor is decreased by 10 percentage. By what percentage approximately will the maximum torque decreases? So the torque is proportional to V squared. The torque will be changed twice percentage of change in voltage, that is 20 percentage. So balance thing are not good, because when you decrease 10 percentage, it will twicely in the torque. So the answer is C. The torque is proportional to V squared. The torque will change by twice the percentage of change in voltage. The salient pole synchronous machine. The air gap is least under the middle of pole shoe. In a salient pole synchronous machine, the air gap is least under the middle of the pole shoe and increase outwards. So here in a salient pole, we know that salient pole is an ununiform air gap, but the question is implies in a salient pole synchronous machine, the air gap is least under the middle of the pole shoe. So in the middle of the pole shoe, it is very close to the armature, that is stationary armature, so that the air gap is very least. Okay. And increase outwards. So other places are have the maximum air gap. Okay, it's a true. This is the answer. Air gap of salient pole structure is minimum at the middle of the given pole. So due to that, the main purpose of the air gap difference. The synchronous machine have two different rotors, mainly salient and non-salient. The salient type alternator, the air gap is not uniform, but the air gap is designed in the sinusoidal manner. Due to the air gap effort, we get nearly sinusoidal output frequency, but it is achieved in the non-salient type rotor. They are using the thickness of conductors. So when the thickness of conductors, the flux produced in the conductors is directly dependent upon the current flow in the conductors. So they are using that method. In the salient pole machine, we are using air gap. In the middle of the pole, the air gap is very minimum, but other places have maximum. That is implies in the questions. So well student, we move to the nearly 25th question. If it is planned to bring an incoming alternator to the operating alternator in parallel. If it is planned to bring an incoming alternator to the operating alternator in parallel, then which of the criteria can be ignored? Let me read the question once again. If it is planned to bring an incoming alternator to the operating alternator in parallel, then which of the criteria can be ignored? So, what is the condition for parallel operation? First thing, voltage must be same. So, we did not ignore the voltage. So, option B is not a correct answer. Frequency, the second condition is the incoming alternator frequency must be same with the existing alternator. So frequency is an important one. So we cannot be able to ignore it. D, phase sequence. The condition, third condition is phase sequence must be same. So when the three sequence is very important, so the balance one is prime over speed. So because we set the prime mover speed as initial one, so the prime mover speed cannot be taken as important here. So hence it can be ignored. Don't imagine, we did not bother about that. Compared to these things, the prime mover speed is we can ignore because the frequency here it is correct. Phase sequence and the voltage comparatively the prime mover speed is ignored. To operate under synchronizing conditions, these must be same voltage, frequency and phase sequence of the machine in the parallel. Which of the following is the base reason to place field on rotor in the alternator? Let me read once again. Which one of the following is the base reason? Which one of the following is the base reason to place the field on rotor in the alternator? So we can take that small power in the field circuit. Small power in the field circuit. Second thing, insulation on high voltage is made easy on stator on rotor. Huge power in stator. Large current in the stator. So why we bring the field on the rotor? Because in DC generator, the armature is a rotating part, the field is a stationary part. So we cannot be able to design the maximum power in the DC machine. So we cannot means while you design the maximum power, it will lead to many issues. Insulation problem due to the centrifugal force, the placing of armature conductor make the problem, and the huge construction make the system unstable. Due to that, we cannot able to design high amount of power capacity DC machine. But in case of alternator, we have stationary armature. We have stationary armature. Due to that, the field is in the rotating part. Why we moved to the rotating part? That is the question here. Small power in the field current. So quite good, correct answer. Let me check the other. Insulation on high voltage is made easy on stator than on rotor. It's also correct one. Huge power in stator. It's also correct. Large current in the stator. It's also correct. So the confusing question. If we have the E option, all the things are correct means quite good. But here we have only a 4 option. So let me check there which one is very important for us. Small power in field current is quite good, but it is not only a good thing. So let me leave the A. Huge power in stator. So it's also quite good, but we can use the slip ring to transfer the power. Large current in the stator, that can also no problem, but the main problem is in a high voltage insulation, because we cannot able to provide the high grade insulation in rotor due to the centrifugal force problem. It is affected. So while we are providing 11 kVA and above, so now in India we are using 11 kV as a maximum power, generating power. So but most of the research are going on to increase that. So while you are increasing the voltage, we can ultimately reducing the current. So we can able to increase the power. So the insulation of high voltage, is made easy on stator than on rotor. So it is a very important point when compared to the other points. So let me check the answer. The providing insulation become easier as the stator will be stationary. So if the stator is stationary, we can able to provide more insulation than the rotating armature. It is a quite good example for the answer. Let me move to the next question. The relative speed between rotor and stator field is 0. This means the relative speed between rotor and stator field is 0. This means the mechanical speed of rotor is equal to stator field speed. Okay. Mechanical speed is 0. Then stator field is stationary. None of the mention. Here we are seeing the synchronous machine concept. The rotor field did not maintain stationary. So let me leave the C. Then mechanical speed is 0. Once the stator speed is maximum, when the mechanical speed is 0 means it is controversy one. So let me leave the B. Then mechanical speed of rotor is equal to the stator field. That is quite good. That when it reach the synchronous speed, the rotor and the stator speed is 0. Answer A. The relative speed is between the rotor and stator field. Satisfactory operation of the machine means the satisfactory operation of the synchronous machine means mechanical speed of rotor is equal to stator field speed. Mechanical speed of the rotor is equal to stator field speed. Here the stator field speed is rotating magnetic field. Mechanical speed is 0. Here the mechanical speed is 0 means there is no work done. So leave it. Stator field is stationary. None of the mention. So here which type of the station a satisfactory operation, the mechanical speed of the rotor is equal to stator field. That may be a good answer. So very good. A, relative speed should be 0 between the rotor and the stator field. Effect of hunting, effect of hunting or mechanical stress, surge in current, rise in temperature, all of them mentioned. So what is hunting? Sudden change in load. If it is a synchronous generator, sudden change in load means suddenly we are taking the current from the synchronous generator. That is a sudden change in load. If it is a synchronous motor, we are applying the mechanical load suddenly or observing the mechanical power suddenly. Due to the sudden change in load, there is an oscillation in the speed. If it is a motor, it is oscillation in speed. If it is a generator, oscillation in voltage. Due to sudden change in load, the oscillation in the input and the output. So it will cause us, first thing, the mechanical stress. Very good. Due to the sudden change in load, there is an oscillation. Due to the oscillation, generator, the frequency mismatch between the grid and the generator, this will cause us mechanical stress, and resultantly it will lead to the surge in current. So sudden oscillation producing the change in frequency, it will lead to sudden surge in current. Once the high amount of current inrush into the circuit, it will rise in the temperature. I squared R loss. It will always eliminate in the term of heat. So rise in temperature. So the result is D. The hunting causes all the mentioned effect of synchronous machine. So while you mentioning the hunting, a word called sudden change in load. So A is correct. Fault in supply. Then sudden change in field current. So all the answer is mentioned is correct. Changing the load suddenly, changing the load suddenly, fault in supply, so sudden change in the field current. Let me see the answer. So changing the load suddenly, excitation or the fault transient in the machine. Why using of dash can be used to limit hunting. Using of a dash can be used to limit hunting. First thing, flywheel, so good. DC exciter, large load. Any of the mentioned. So it's a simple answer. Here it is, flywheel is a correct answer. At the same time, any of the mentioned. So let me choose the safer side. Any of the mentioned. So here flywheel is used, can be used to limit hunting. Employment of damper winding will reduce hunting. So what is the purpose of damper winding? So damper winding is fixed in the field, the edges of the field. It's same like a asynchronous motor concept. When it is run in the synchronous speed, there is no current flow in the damper winding. When it reduced than the synchronous speed, it ultimately producing the torque. It acts like a induction motor and producing the torque. So the employment of damper winding will reduce hunting. So it is one of the method to reduce the hunting effect. So explanation. So answer A, true. Damper winding or mechanical winding which also reduce the hunting because we have different method, flywheel method. Damper winding is made up of, how it is made? It's a winding. So it can be made up of copper, iron, silicon, cast iron. So silicon is not a good conductor. Iron and cast iron we can build it, but it work due to the high rate of internal resistance. The heat may be arise. Heat will arise rapidly. So it is not recommended to build the conductors. So the copper is the best choice for us. When compare the four, if we selection, we have silver or anything, we can choose for that. But here copper, when compared to the copper, the iron, silicon and cast iron have more internal resistance. So it is not recommended to build the winding. So they are made of copper and the current also flow through them. So damper winding at the time of hunting effect, the current flow through the damper winding to producing the torque. Due to that, it will compensate the oscillation. So the copper is a good choice for us. Damper winding is placed in where we need to place the damper winding. So series with armature. It's not a quite answer. Series with field. No. Then rotor slots. The rotor slots, it occupies with rotor winding. Then pole shoes. So the damper winding is already we discussed in the previous question. The damper winding is placed in the upper part of the cover part of the rotor, same like a induction motor. It is fixed in the small opening present in the pole shoes in the upper periphery. So damper winding is placed in the pole shoes. So correct answer. Let me check. The damper winding are placed in the pole shoes. Let me move to the next. Turbo generator do not use damper winding due to. So here the purpose of damper winding is to reduce the hunting effect. The hunting effect maximum arised in the salient type alternator only. So turbo is come under the non-salient type alternator. So there is no need for turbo generator. So solid steel rotor core, that is a turbo alternator. That's why we did not mention use that, because the eddy current in the Q axis produce the same effect as the damper in salient pole machine. Here the eddy current effect will reduce the the hunting effect. So we did not require the damper winding. Damper winding should have high resistance, low starting torque, low resistance and low reactance. So the damper winding is operated one at the chance of hunting only. So the current passes through the damper winding. So the resistance must be low. That is a quite good for us. High resistance and it is not used for a starting torque. So low starting torque is not a correct answer. Low reactance is not a correct answer. And high resistance we avoid that because we require to flow of current in the winding. So option C is correct. For desired hunting, the damper winding should have low resistance. Asynchronous speed, relative speed between rotating air gap flux and a damper is. So it is a dummy winding. So the damper winding is 0 may be a correct answer. At asynchronous speed, relative speed between rotating air gap flux and the damper is 0. That is not a synchronous speed B, not a less than synchronous speed or more than 0. So it is 0 because when it is 0, it acts like a dummy winding. So it's 0. When rotor speed becomes greater than the synchronous speed, which type of torque is produced in damper winding? So when the rotor speed, suppose our rotor speed is more than the synchronous speed means the damper winding is also act like a induction motor principle. When it run in synchronous speed, it act like a dummy. So when it reduce to synchronous speed, it act like a induction motor. So here they are mentioning above synchronous speed. So if it reach above synchronous speed, it act like a induction generator. Let me see the answer. The slip will become negative and it will operate in generating mode. When an alternator is loaded suddenly, when an alternator loaded suddenly, the torque produced in the damper is. So damper winding, the alternator suddenly loaded, it will reduce the speed of the machine so that the relative speed between the stator and the rotor is varied. So now the rotor speed will be reduced than the synchronous speed. Now the slip become positive and due to that there is some current flow in the damper winding and producing the torque. This type of operation is similar to the induction motor. So now when the speed is increased, the induction generator answer may be correct. So the rotor is run in the synchronous speed means synchronous motor may be correct. Then the synchronous generator there is no for damper winding. The induction motor may be a correct one. Sudden load will reduce the speed of the machine so that there will be a small slip induced in the machine. Make it possible to operate as induction motor. Okay students, today we see about the more related things about in and around synchronous machine. So synchronous machine in the topic of parallel operation. Once again I am N. Karthikeyan, Department of Electrical and Electronic Engineering, Panimalar Institute of Technology, Chennai. Hope you all of them get information about the synchronous machine. Thank you for your kind patience, and I hope all of them get good mark in the GATE examination. Thank you, students.